How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the Alt Channel. Today I am here to share with you the upcoming games I'm most excited about, because my wish list is starting to get slightly out of hand, and I figured this would be a fun way of both sharing some cool looking games with you all and also maybe giving the games themselves some more publicity, albeit only a little. Obviously, it's hard to say if a game will be good or not based solely off of pre-release material and trailers and such, but each of these has at least something that's piqued my interest. So if you see something that looks appealing to you too, feel free to drop them a wish list on Steam. I've been told it helps, but I'm not a game dev, so I don't really know. Anyway, let's get started with Darkwood 2. Oh yes. The most recently announced game on this list is now also my most anticipated. Darkwood is one of my favorite horror games of all time, despite only playing it all the way through for the first time earlier this year. It's just that good, and I really didn't expect a sequel to ever happen. From my limited understanding of the situation, the team that made the first game, Acid Wizard, went through what could charitably be called the 9 circles of development hell, which drained them to the point of total burnout. I had already fully accepted that we would most likely never get anything else in this universe, possibly never get another game from these guys again, but lo and behold, out of absolutely nowhere comes the announcement for Darkwood 2. Only I was actually kind of still half right because the original team isn't developing this. They were the ones who set it up, and they're overseeing development apparently, which is a good sign, but the development itself was handed off to a different dev team. One that some of you may recognize. Ice Pick Lodge, the guys behind the Pathogenic series. And honestly, given that that particular series has its roots in bizarre, creepy Slav jank, I think there are a lot of far worse choices than them to make a Darkwood sequel. Still, only time will tell if it lives up to the original. Some people already aren't a fan of the new 3D art style, as opposed to the hand-drawn look. But while I also do prefer the first game's visuals in that sense, I don't mind the 3D personally. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do with that. Regardless, I'm certainly willing to give Ice Pick Lodge a chance here, and I'm very excited to give this one a shot if I get the chance to. No confirmed release date on this one yet, but definitely worth keeping an eye on. Have you ever waited for a game for an entire fucking decade? Because I have. There's a beta for it now, so that means it'll be out soon, right? Right? Any day now. Okay, but seriously, it's quite exciting to see that the game is finally nearing some level of completion. I still have no idea how much longer it'll take, but the beta actually being playable to the public for the first time is a good sign that the end product is coming along nicely. You would think waiting for a game for this long would kill all my hype, but I'm actually looking forward to PB3 now more than ever before. Surely it'll have its full Steam release sooner rather than later, he says as a single tear slowly falls down his cheek. Surely. Here's a game called SSR Wives: The Murder of My Winter Crush. No, I don't really know what that name means either. In fact, it may surprise you to learn that this is actually an old-school style survival horror game of all things, and a strongly stylistic and atmospheric one at that. I started playing the demo for this one and actually had to stop because I was having too much fun and I wanted to experience the full game with as few spoilers as possible. So I guess that speaks well to the quality of the demo anyway. The thing I'm most excited about here is definitely the art style. I find that a lot of PS1 or PS2 styled survival horror games just try as hard as possible to look exactly like Resident Evil or Silent Hill. And well, yes, old Resident Evil and Silent Hill games obviously still look great. I prefer when new additions to the genre do their own thing, which is what I got here. Very unique visuals, very unique vibe, game look good. It nails the retro aesthetic and adds in a dose of surrealism that really ties the whole thing together. What I got from the store page is that this is going to be something of a mixture between survival horror and dating sim visual novel? Yeah, admittedly I'm not really a dating sim guy, or a visual novel guy in general for that matter, so I'm probably more in the market for the survival horror side of things here, but hey, props for doing something different. This one's planned to release in January of 2026, and as previously mentioned, has a demo you can play right now. Resident Evil Requiem. Let's just get this one out of the way fast because everyone knows this is coming out and everyone who cares enough to be excited already is. Resident Evil is kind of in a weird place right now. For every step forward the series takes, they keep feeling the insatiable desire to remind us of how cool RE4 was. Which, yeah, it was, but, like, can we try something different, maybe? I don't know, man. I mostly really liked 7 and 8 for what it's worth, so I assume this game will at least be good. Whether or not it'll be great, I guess we'll have to wait and see. The trailers have a pretty neat vibe, at least. The game's coming out on February 27th, 2026. Neverlooted Dungeon might not look like much at first glance. The visuals are charming, if a little unrefined. But what it looks like we're really getting here is a meticulously handcrafted, physics-driven, immersive sim dungeon crawler. And that alone is enough to sell me, I don't know about you. I've been looking forward to this one for a while now. The idea of delving into such a detailed world, finding a bunch of cool little secrets and hidden areas with treasure and items and stuff, really just gets the old brain a-tingling, you know what I mean? Plus, I'm a sucker for physics-based mechanics and dungeon crawlers. I guess it's not so hard to see why I'm excited for this one, huh? Neverlooted Dungeon has a demo available right the heck now and is slated for a release sometime in 2026. Verho. Verho? Curse of Faces looks like it could very well be the next in a line of ultra-atmospheric, exploration-focused, first-person indie ARPGs. Rather specific, perhaps, but think of games like Northern Journey, Lucid, stuff like that. Whatever those games had, this one clearly has too. I mean, just look at this trailer, man. We've been overdue for another of this style of game for a while, so I'm quite pleased to see another developer that gets it. You know what I mean? I can't speak to the gameplay yet, I didn't play the demo for too long, so it remains to be seen how polished the end product ends up being, but the visual design alone is enough to make me want to explore this world, personally. Here's hoping the game lives up to its potential. Won't take long to find out either, the game is dropping on November 10th, so just a few days away as of right now, and there's a demo available if you want to try it out for yourself. And capping off this trilogy of medieval-styled games for this list, we've got Deep Dish Dungeon, a game that really caught my interest for quite a few reasons, actually. Even beyond the appealing visuals, everything I've heard about this game suggests that the developers are dedicated to making a deeply mysterious and rewarding experience here. Puzzles, secrets, meaningful progression, that kind of thing. The Steam page says, "Fortune favors the bold. Take your time to investigate every shadow, solve every puzzle, and open every door. The dungeon will reveal its secrets only if you are patient and persistent. Learn how to defeat enemies with diverse behaviors, discover coveted treasures, and never take a hint for granted." That last line has me excited. Perhaps this might be the kind of game to encourage taking your own notes? Tons of potential here, even if I myself would probably go into this in single player. Not a ton of info on the game just yet, no release date, no demo either, but definitely keep an eye on it if any of that sounded interesting to you. This is kind of an odd one out for this list, but something about Lucid Blocks really connects with me. Personally, I think the whole, "whoa dude, Minecraft is secretly a horror game" thing is pretty overplayed. The game was never really that scary, but I can't deny there is some truth to it. Early Minecraft builds did have a somewhat unnerving vibe from time to time, which is what this game seems to be, no pun intended, building off of. That and also just the strange feelings you'd get exploring games as a kid. At least that's how it seems to me. But I assume a game like this is meant to speak differently to different people. Regardless, early Minecraft crossed with a bit of LSD Dream Emulator? Yeah, I'm on board for that concept. No planned release date for Lucid Blocks as of yet. Routine kind of came out of nowhere for me. Apparently it's been in development for some time, but I hadn't even heard of it until stumbling across the trailer recently, and well, I think the footage speaks for itself in terms of how it got my attention. This is exactly my style of sci-fi, that retro 80s look, dark, metallic, dingy, oh yes. Anything that even passingly reminds me of Ridley Scott's Alien is already a big win in my book. Now, I'm not super clear yet on what kind of horror this is going to be. Survival horror, run and hide horror, maybe a little of both. Speaking of Alien, some parts of this kind of remind me of Alien Isolation, so maybe it'll be similar to that? From the trailers, the enemies look to be pretty powerful, and while I don't really care for the stealth and hiding horror games, I can see myself playing this anyway just because of how on point that atmosphere is. Routine will be releasing on December 4th, 2025. Half Sword is a simulation of medieval combat that weaves between Hellish Court and totally accurate battle simulator on a dime. Initially, it looks almost like a meme game, just a bunch of floppy ragdoll guys flailing wildly at one another. But there is actually a fair bit of nuance to this combat system. Sure, you can just flail wildly, but if you want to learn, there's a surprisingly high skill ceiling to practice towards. And man, I'm not gonna lie, when you manage to get one good hit on an armored enemy, right in that little gap in his armor, it's pretty damn satisfying. Combine that with multiple modes of play and a seriously brutal gore system, there's definitely something cool here. I've already sunk 16 hours into the demo for this game, so I think I can safely call it a genuinely enjoyable melee combat sandbox. And I'm excited to see what the devs have in store for the full release. Half Sword is supposedly releasing sometime this year in 2025, but I'm not sure if that's 100% confirmed yet. Pathogenic is a wildly colorful microorganism roguelike, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say, but yeah. Anyway, I don't actually know a great deal about this game, but from the looks of the trailer, this may well end up being the exact kind of roguelike I enjoy the most. That being the kind that lets you get absurdly, comedically overpowered. As long as you know how to get there. Skill expression, build variety. That is, I hope, the name of the game here. Even if we get something like a quarter as complex as Noita's wand crafting, that's already a prospect I can get behind. And if there's plenty of content to back all of that up, we may well be looking at a new highlight for the genre. We'll see. No release date to speak of just yet, but the demo is out now. In the post-Elden Ring age of video games, where damn near every trailer that's come out in the past 2 years has been for a super predictable, dark fantasy Souls-like with no personality whatsoever, well, I'm starting to get a bit sick of it. So I almost missed this game in the miasma of lookalikes. Because it seems that this actually isn't so much a Souls-like as a Dark Messiah of Might and Magic-like. That name is going to need some work if this becomes a new subgenre. I actually dig the art style here, and the combat shown off in the trailer looks suitably brutal and satisfying. If there actually is as much room for creative kills and environmental takedowns as it leads me to believe, well, this could certainly end up being a big exception to the sameness we've been swamped with recently. I would say I'm cautiously optimistic about Fatekeeper. Not 100% convinced it'll be good, but I damn sure hope it will be. The game will apparently be launching into early access this winter. Okay, so hear me out. This could possibly end up being the best Batman video game since Arkham Knight. Man, that's actually extremely depressing to say out loud. Look, I haven't played a LEGO game in years and years, so I didn't think much of this when it was announced. But then I noticed that someone, somewhere, decided to go all in making this like an Arkham game, and I mean, shit, man, alright. Like, I'll take a new Arkham game even with a Lego skin, dude. I'll take anything at this point as long as it's not VR locked or has the name of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League! Sorry, a lot of bad emotions just came rushing back there. Look, this could end up being mid, this could end up being bad. I have no idea what to really think about it, but dude, I'm just saying, I'm willing to let them cook and see how it plays out. No release date for this one right now other than a planned window of sometime in 2026. And ending us off here, we've got a game that I've had my eye on for a while now. Divine Frequency, a Lovecraftian-styled survival horror boomer shooter. And man, does this game look fucking rad! The monster designs, the environments, the sound design and weapon animations, dude, I need it! I need all of it right now! Or, you know, whenever it's done. This seems exactly like another one of those games, just tailor-made for my specific tastes. And it seems that I'm not alone in feeling that way either. I hope the team behind this one takes their time and lets this project become everything it can possibly be, because I can already tell this is a very special game. The care and passion already put into it is obvious to see. I would also love to see some really obscure secrets and Steam achievements here, but either way, absolutely one to follow if this is your kind of thing. No planned release date as of yet, but there is a demo available to play right now. And that's all I've got for today. Hopefully I was able to bolster some of your wish lists with cool stuff to look forward to. I'm sure there are plenty more sick-looking upcoming games that I'm not even aware of, so feel free to drop some of your own suggestions in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And also, you can check out my main channel for more in-depth videos on games like these if you'd like to. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Later, fellas.
Resident Evil Requiem.
Wait, I can do that better.
Resident Evil Requiem.
There we go.